My name is Rena, and welcome to LOL Living Out Loud. This is the podcast where women come together to intentionally and boldly embrace who we are. So, ladies, grab your girls, grab a pen, grab your journal, and the beverage of your choice, and welcome to LOL Living Out Loud. So, hello, ladies. Welcome. It is Rena, and I'm here with the second episode. Yes, I'm doing this thing. I'm excited about doing it, and I want to let y'all in on a secret. I'm a little proud of myself because it is scary to do something brand new and put yourself out there where others can judge you. That's all a part of this living out loud, doing you and not caring what other people think, at least not to the point where it changes your mind on what you want to do. Anywho, I hope you have your girls. I hope you have the drink of your choice, a pen, a journal. Oh, and by the way, don't forget the writing prompt. Grab that or turn the page and so we can talk about it. So last week, I gave you guys the assignment after I talked a little about what living out loud, what LOL would be all about. And I gave you guys an assignment, a writing prompt called Who Are You? That is a deep question. It kind of fits a question I once asked when I was a high school teacher. When I was in high school, the school year started with my ninth grade class. Yes, ninth graders. And in the area that I taught in, there was an array of different children coming with different backgrounds, different styles of living, different communities, some middle class, some upper middle class, some lower class, some with some extreme experience, drug users, drug abusers, drug dealers. And I asked my class a question, and that was, who are you? And they were like, well, what does that mean? And I get it. That was their question at 15. I'm 55 and I still have the question, what does that mean? So I gave it some thought and I gave them the question in another way, along with a writing assignment. I told them I would give them this writing assignment as school was starting in September. And I would re-give it to them at the end of the school year in June, hoping that they might have more to say or something different to say. But the question that I asked them, if today was your last day on earth and you were to be eulogized, a eulogy, what would people say about you? A backwards way of getting to who are you? So that was a deep question, and the kids had responses like, well, nobody would really say have anything to say about me. I mean, I haven't done anything yet. And I gave them this. 15 years old, or 14 going on 15, or 15 going on 16 is not an excuse not to have done anything. That you have the capacity to still be kind to people, be good in school, be good in an activity of your choice, to shine, to work hard. What would people say about you? Who are you? So I gave us that assignment, and who are you for grown women, for women 50 plus, and if there's sisters younger than that listening to this, this is applicable to you too. But by the time you've had children or gone through your childbearing years, whether you've had children or not, and been married, are married, divorced, taking care of parents until their death, buried parents, been a caretaker, been a sister, been different careers, whatever you've had to do, and whatever experiences that you've had that has shaped you, begs to differ and begs to ask the question, excuse me, who are you? So I thought that before we get deep into this thing, I would grab my journal prompt and read to you what I had to say about who I am and discuss it. So this is what I had to say. I said, Rena, that's me, I am funny and witty and sometimes sarcastic, educated, spiritual, dynamic, creative, inspirational, powerful, honest. I am a strong Black woman. Sometimes I believe some of that, and other times I believe most of it, and there are times when I believe all of it. I am a woman who is still working on merging her mistakes with her successes, her faith with her doubt. I am bold when I stand up for others and damn near fearless. And sometimes I am bold to protect myself. The dichotomy of me confuses me. What I know for sure is I am moral and intentional about being a good citizen of the world. My personality is outgoing and compassionate and kind, which feeds my soul's desire, and that is to serve my community. When I am at my best self, I love courageously, even if it's not for my greater good, and I'm trying to fix that. What I know for sure is that I am unafraid to share my faults, at least the ones which I am aware of. And as soon as I figure out why I make the choices that are not so great for myself, I'll share them with you as well. I'm willing to share my broken parts if it means someone else can become just a little more empowered by my mistakes or bad choices. I am a woman who has both a girl and a young woman living inside who still needs some love. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I am made on purpose by God, and that alone makes me valuable. That is what I know, but sometimes it's not how I live, and how a lot of times it's not how I feel. What I know for sure is that I am in perfectly perfect peace of an ever intentionally evolving sister woman girl who is willing to put myself out there in order to be more of me. That's who I am. Who are you? So that's what I had to say. And I mean, it's a deep topic, and it is not that simple who we are, because when somebody challenges us with that question, who are you? I mean, how do you answer? What does it mean? I think that we have to engage our character, what we believe our character is. I think we have to engage our values, our faith, our experiences, our choices, good and bad, our successes, our failures. We have to put that all in a basket, so to speak, and shake it up, because it's all of that stuff that makes us who we are. It's the good and the bad. And I think what we might challenge with is putting the good with the bad. Like if we've made a mistake, we have allowed others to define us by those mistakes. But most importantly, we define our own selves by our mistakes. We are not our mistakes. They're choices that we've made, and we've learned from those choices. But in a world that is constantly critiquing us and denoting value about who we are based on our successes and our failures. When we fill out an application, this really bugs the AGLL out of me. It says, are you married, single, or divorced? I'm confused, because if you were married and you got a divorce, are you not simply single again? But I think that they have us put divorced on there, particularly as women, as a way to critique who we are. Maybe they think they can get some insight into who we are and what we're about, and if we can finish something that we started. You know that is false. I can tell you that when I was applying for ministry, when I was applying for ordination, a question was asked and I had to defend why I was divorced. Matter of fact, those pompous men on this committee, no women to be found, wanted to the ability to speak to my former husband, y'all, too, and ask the question, why are we divorced? The joke is there are so many male pastors who have been married and divorced, and they don't even have to get into that. But women, it must mean something about us. And I tell you what, it began to mean something to me too. I began to think, maybe I wasn't good enough for ministry because I was divorced. And that says something about who I am. I've been out of that long enough now to realize that it sure does say something about who I am. I have the courage to walk away, to run screaming in the night from something that's not good for me. Even if I sat there longer than I should have, it doesn't matter. What matters is that I got out of it. It means that I have courage to start over again, not knowing what my future is going to be. It means that I have the testicular fortitude to meet new challenges. That's even challenges about what I think of myself now that I've come out of something that I committed to. It means dealing with other people think about me. So let me give you, when you go out on a date and a man says, have you been married before? And your answer is, well, yeah, twice. They look on their faces like, what's wrong with this chick? I get it. They have a judgment, and often other people's expectations, judgments, the community's expectations and judgments, we internalize it, and it has a lot to do with who we are. And the who we are, we measure it in the negative instead of finding the positive. So, I just want us, this week to give some thought about, when you read over your journal or you share it with some of your girls, which I hope you do, to give some real thought about why you said what you said about who you are. And when you answered the question about who you are, now I'm going to talk to my church girls for a moment. Were you super spiritual? Because that's super spiritual God talk. That's, oh, how are you today? Oh, child, I'm blessed and highly favored. I didn't even ask you all of that. I asked you, how are you? How are you doing inside? How you doing in your soul? How you doing in your spirit? How you doing in your body? How you doing in your health? I know you're blessed and highly favored because you got up and you're walking around this morning. I'm not talking about God talk, that super spiritualization that we church women, church folk do from time to time. What I'm asking you is, who are you? How did you answer the question? Were you really raw? And if you weren't, I am going to encourage you to do it again. And maybe we can look at this in about 6 months to see if your answer has changed. And I can look at mine and see if I am growing. But we won't be able to grow and get to where we need to get to if we're not honest and raw with ourselves. So that's my invitation to you. Now, what I'm hoping is next week, when I come with episode number 3, y'all, when I come with episode number 3 for LOL, Living Out Loud, that some of you might take the time to either write me an email, which you can find on the podcast, and you can email me, or you can do a video memo and send that to me, and I'll play it in the podcast, and we can discuss from there. But next week, my question is going to be, that means, you ready, guys? Get your pen. Here's the writing prompt for next week. It's going to be, what do you want? You get it? First, you got to deal with who you are, all of the pieces of who you are. And once you have an idea, some working rough copy of what that is, then you have to give some real thought about, okay, this is who I am. Now, what do I want? This, honey, to me is terrifying because it's in the what that I want, that I have to face all my insecurities and all my fears. Wanting to talk to sisters, loving to be before sisters in a one-on-one is something that I'm good at, but doing it in the form of a podcast when no one's here talking with me, and I chose not to do this in an interview format. And every now and then there will be an interview format, just not this time. Maybe not for the first season. And I'm going to do 7 episodes in a season. It's terrifying, but it's something I want to do. So I'm really proud of myself for this decade for doing something brand new. What are you proud of yourself about? Are you doing something brand new, especially while we're in sick and shut in? So we say because of the COVID-19, a lot of us find ourselves at home, and like me, a lot of you are unemployed, as I am. So again, I'm sorry, rambling. Ignore all of that if you can take it, if, fish and bone it. If you can use it, use it. If you can't, hey, I was just talking. Writing prompt again is, what do you want? Put that in your journal. I want you to meet me back here next week. And please, ladies, do me a favor. Write a review. Subscribe. Tell your girls about it. Have them subscribe and check me out from time to time. Feel free to send me an email and ask me to try some things or do some things. Give me any advice that you might have. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope it's given you some food for thought. And in the words of Dolly Parton, find out who you are and do it on purpose. See you next week as we LOL. Living Out Loud. Goodbye. My name is Rena, and welcome to LOL Living Out Loud. This is the podcast where women come together to intentionally and boldly embrace who we are. So ladies, grab your girls, grab a pen, grab your journal, and the beverage of your choice, and welcome to LOL Living Out Loud.